capital of El Salvador is considered one of the most dangerous cities in the world. And now it's getting better. But when you go to El Salvador, you don't see that. You absolutely do not see any of that because you come to the airport, it's relatively far, 1 hour from the city. You go to beautiful surrounding nature. You come to the city, the highway. They put you in a nice part of the town where are all those embassies. A venue is there. You don't see anything. And when I took musicians, say, "Oh, I didn't know that this is El Salvador because you don't see these things." The only thing, only once, actually twice, when you come to Caracas and you come to Callao in Peru on airport to go to Lima, then you go through kind of big slums. I'm not look. To me, it doesn't matter because I live in Africa for 6-7 months. And I don't see when I go to the country, I don't think if it's dangerous or not dangerous. I just go to the country. Yes, I'm not going to Southern Sudan. I'm not going to Yemen. I'm not going to Iraq or Afghanistan. But I remember I've been 30 times to Indonesia. In the beginning, like people say, "Why are you going to Indonesia? That's a dangerous country. They killed some people." That was a bombing. So look, we had bombing in New York City. 3,000 people were killed. You had bombing by terrorists in Europe for 15 years all around Europe. Telling me that country is dangerous just because there were a couple of bombings in a couple of hotels and this because Indonesia is a very safe country. But I don't think people, mostly America, say, "Oh, let me see what State Department say. Oh, that's very dangerous. Be careful, be safe." I don't think about that. I really don't think in that way because I know I have a common sense. One of the things that people don't know is common sense because I say I'm not going to South Sudan, that for sure. I would like to go on my own, but I'm not going. I'm not taking bands to certain areas because I know this is dangerous because there is a common sense. But certain people might be kind of impressed by when you come to Peru or to Lima airport in Callao, you come to Caracas because then you go to the slums for very long time. And to me, it's just how the people live. Yes, it might be dangerous, but I understand why people are thinking that way. I don't think it that way at all. And see, like I'm a white guy. I'm very tall. I'm 194 tall, like 6'4". And when I lived in Africa, I didn't have any problem as a white guy because I always think when you go to certain attitude, you bring your energy mostly brings the danger. If you look like somebody who is afraid, most likely you will bring that negative energy. But if not, nothing will happen. Also, I know where to walk. I remember my wife is from Brazil. I remember the first time when I went to Brazil in 1992, December. I was staying before going to Minas Gerais, state where she's from. I was in Rio de Janeiro on my own. I speak Portuguese very well. Perfectly, but I went on my own. I didn't have one single problem in Rio de Janeiro. But people when go to Rio de Janeiro, they're shitting in their pants because it's dangerous. I know it might be dangerous, but I don't think it that way because I think I can avoid the danger if you know the place, if you have a common sense, if you know where are you going, if you know how to act with yourself, you will avoid danger. Of course, you can be killed in Iceland, in Finland. You can be raped in Liechtenstein, and you can be safe in Rocinha, very famous favela in Rio de Janeiro, Rocinha. Look, I don't think about these things because when I go to these places, I know that promoter will take good care of us, take us from the airport to the hotel, from the hotel to the venue. That's it. You don't see anything of that. But I'm the guy, and Tony Levin is also a very curious guy. For our vacation little vacation in Bolivia, we went out. We went out to see the places. Oh, La Paz is very dangerous. No, it's not because it doesn't matter. We went out. We went out in eating in the local restaurants. Me and Marcus Reuter and going to El Alto, which is a city close to the airport, like 4,000 meters above the sea level. We go there. Because I don't want to live in. I'm not terrorized by these things. I understand that some people are because they don't have knowledge, they don't have experience. But I have experience traveling all around the world, and I have a certain knowledge. And I'm a brave person, and never ever nothing happened to me anywhere in the world. Never. It might happen tomorrow. It happened in Toledo, where crime is zero. Crime in Toledo is zero. No crime. It's ridiculous how crime is zero. No crime. But it can happen. But I don't think about that thing. I just think like, oh, I'm here. What I can learn from local cultures. When I went to Santiago first time, I went to Mercado Central. I went to places. Don't go there. Why not? What's wrong with going there? Like, I'm going there because they told me there's a nice restaurant over there that they have served nice wine. I'm going with local friends. Also, this is the thing. I always have local friends. That's the thing. If you cannot go by yourself, you made the local friends and they take you to places. And you're fine. That's the excitement of things that I'm doing. I went to South Africa in 2019. I went to Soweto. I have to go to South Africa, not going to Soweto. What's the big deal? It's yes. I'm not going exactly where is there. You're going to celebrate. Oh, you've been to Soweto. Yes, and I had very good time.
In Chile and Mercado Central. I know the area very well. I know exactly about that. Well, you're brave, and you have been in so many places around the world. So many, like you say, if you go with local people, right, they will help you. I mean, you're right. In Toledo, it's zero crime.
But that's excitement, like local. See, when people used to come to New York, I told them, like, you want to come to New York City? Okay. Do you want to see regular places? Okay. Go without me. You go to Statue of Liberty. You go to Empire State Building. Don't count on me. You want to see New York that is not on Catalina on postcard? Talk to me. I will take you to Queens to eat the best food in USA in Queens, not in Manhattan, in Queens. I will take you to Brooklyn. Take you to my favorite pizzeria in Staten Island. I will take you to the Bronx in a Dominican Republic community. And that's why when I go to the places, I always have friends. If I don't have, I will find them. And they will take me. Because if I don't know local places, that means I didn't enjoy local culture. That's what I enjoy.
Now you have a friend in Virginia. No, I don't live that far from the Bismarck, so I'm glad that you mentioned that. So let's talk about the Moon June Festival in 2023 in Moon June in Toledo, which is going to be held September 28th, 29th, the 30th, and the October 1st.
Yeah. Okay, this is the thing, like, several years ago, because I have a large catalog of artists on Moon June Records, and I work with a lot of people, not necessarily on my label that I'm booking, and Frank Gambale, Scott Henderson, and Caravan. They are not on PFM. They are not on my label, but I'm their booking representative for certain areas. Phil Manzanera, many other artists. And sometimes people say, "Why don't you do your own festival? You have so many bands." And actually, I had that idea, and then because we are going in another dangerous territory that I have to explain so many things, because nothing in my life is so easy to explain. Okay, I had issue with my own country, Yugoslavia, very dysfunctional country. I never thought that I'm from there. Like, I was by accident. I was born in Bosnia, in Yugoslavia, by accident, pure accident. I grew up with my maternal grandparents. And I didn't have a nice childhood. And when I left there in 1980, I was living between Italy and Yugoslavia. I didn't want to go back. And actually, at a certain point, I said, only was visiting a couple of times because my grandparents were alive. Once my grandmother died in 84, and my grandfather died in 89, I didn't have any desire to go there. I loved the nature. I had some friends, but I didn't have any desire. I had desire to go to Kamchatka. I had the desire to go to Pitcairn. I had the desire to go to Antarctica. I didn't have any desire to go to Bosnia or Yugoslavia. And then when I came to New York in 1990, a few years later, the war started. And then I said, that's the reason that I don't want to go back, because somehow when I was living there in the 70s, 80s, something was telling me that something will happen. Because it had all characteristics that something will happen. Then I decided, no, I'm not going there. But through Facebook, I reconnected with certain people in 2007, 8, 9, and we were corresponding. Then I saw some of them in Sweden and USA, and then my friend that I know him for 55 years. Actually, his father was a good friend of my grandfather, who escaped the war in 1992, who lived in Sweden. He's a cook and photographer, and also big music fan. like same kind of music I like. And he said, look, you know, why we don't do something in our? I said, I'm not sure about that. Then what is happening? My good friend Vicky Darmaman, Indonesian artist, one of my best friends among musicians, he was invited to Sarajevo Jazz Festival in 2019 in November. And he called me, look, Leonardo, like, you know, I want you to come to Jajce, to Bosnia, to Sarajevo. I said, I think now is the time that I can go back to Bosnia. But I don't know if I'm going to my hometown, which is 3 hours by drive. It's a historic town, beautiful historic town in central Bosnia. I will go. And then he assembled sort of European band. One guy from Italy, one guy from Israel who lived in UK, and one Palestinian guy who lived in Emirates. Vicky Darman ball piece band with Kamal Musalam on oud and guitar, Palestinian guy, Boris Valeli on vocals and electronics, and Asaf Sirkis on drums. And we went to the, you know, we confirmed we are going to the festival. And then my friend from Sweden, he said, look, because it's only 3 hours from our hometown, why we don't do something over there? And then he connected me with local people, which I left like 45 years ago. I even didn't know those people. And they said, okay, we'll do it. And then we decided to do it. And my friends, you know, we did the fee for the Sarajevo Jazz Festival and all expenses paid. But they said, let's go to your hometown. They don't have money. We'll pray for free. If they give us like food and, you know, doesn't matter. You know, it's just, we are there. Like, and we went. And I went with them. And I felt kind of, I felt different because I say, I finally feel in peace with myself, with my past, with, you know, troubled childhood and troubled country, dysfunctionality of everything. And then we were received by the mayor of the city and by some politicians and cultural workers. And they say, like, why we don't do, say, you have a lot of artists, why we don't do a little festival in Jajce, in Bosnia? I say, okay, let's do it. Let's do it next year in June of 2020. Fine. I already had a couple of bands. Okay, fine. Of course, it didn't happen because of COVID. And then finally, it happened in 2022. And I had like 3 days of festivals. I had 6 artists. We had an amazing time. Artists from all around the world, from Indonesia, from Tuva, the Republic in Siberia, from Palestine, from Israel, from Germany, from UK, from USA, from Canada, from Uruguay, from Spain, from Portugal. It was amazing. And then I said to myself, that was in June, you know, no budget, you know, just covering expenses. And I said, oh, now I live in Toledo. I would like to do a festival in Toledo. But I didn't know anybody in Toledo. When I came to Toledo, I didn't know one single person. But then, now I know a lot of people. Then I said, I need to do festival. But in order to do festival, you cannot just do festival because you don't know, you know. And then I didn't really find anybody that can help me. And, you know, like September, October, November, December, January. In December, I meet two mutual friends, a Mexican guy who is kind of, you know, wasn't sure what I'm talking about. But he's a huge fan of King Crimson and you know, and Genesis and Fusion.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about, he said, I know it's too late, you know, you want to do this in June, you know, I don't know, like, you know. And I went to USA to tour with Stickman, and I came back, and then we went for a couple of beers, and he said, look, I like your ideas. I would like to do something. I don't know how. I said, his name is Mauricio Daginaco. And I said, Mauricio, let's do it. We decided in end of March, not to do it in June, but to do it in September. We cannot count on governmental help because of the election. We cannot count on any sponsors because nobody knows us. And only one band is, 3 artists are known, 2 Spanish artists, local artists, Ana Alcaide, Diego Amador, and Sock Machine. All other artists are unknown. And, you know, this is the city where, you know, people are a little bit skeptical if you are new. Will say, who are these foreigners? What they want? Like, you know, are they serious? You have to convince them, you know. And we said, okay, let's have a festival. We found the venue. We had difficulties to find a venue because nobody trusts you. Nobody, you know, they said, what are you talking about? And we finally found the venue, which is an old church that was converted to something else in 1848. In the last 25 years, it's called Circolo de Arte. It's a cultural center. But until 1848 was Church of Inquisition San Vicente. Once upon a time, that was sort of office of the very famous, badly famous Torquemada. That was the headquarters of Spanish Inquisition. And but the inside is beautiful. It's just magic. And we went there and said, we are doing here because Mauricio comes from movies. He was working on a lot of independent movies, and he even worked on major Hollywood movies. But in the crew, and he knows a lot about this, imagination and moving images, and and we were a good match. We are both fighters, and we decided to do it with no help from anybody, zero, because we have to do it because if we do it properly, next year we can count with governmental help because there are no elections, and we can help because in Spain there's a lot of subsidized money, but we were late. In order to get subsidized money, you can come 8 months in advance. But now we are just perfect in September, October, because new government just came on the power last month, and they are doing budgets in September, October, November, and they must put aside certain money for the culture because they have obligation. I don't know how much money, but they will have some. Not only the city, also the region, the federal government, and the European community. We don't know. Maybe we will be successful to get money. Maybe we'll not. But we'll have some. But then sponsors. We got sponsors, but nobody will give you any money. They will give you cheese. They will give you oil. They will give extra virgin oil. They will give you like beer, wine, but they will not give you any money. But maybe next year they can give you some money because you show what you can do. Because we actually, Mauricio, who lived between Mexico City and Los Angeles for 25 years, and me living in New York City, we have kind of different kind of mentality. We are more kind of, even though we are kind of romantic warriors, we still have this kind of American kind of, we know how to do certain things, which is kind of different than this mentality here because they do it completely different way. And we decided to do it because I have artists. But when we started doing this, say, oh, you have a festival. Do you need artists? Say, no, I don't need artists. You don't need artists? You have festival? No, because the reason that I want festival is because I have artists. Do you have a venue? Yes, we have. Really? Yes, we have. We paid the deposit for it. Oh, okay. And then you announce that you will do it. Oh, are you sure you want to do it? Fine. How many people will come per show? Say, no, I will sell only 165 tickets per night because I want people to sit. It's a small venue. How you will make money from that? I don't know. That's not the point. The point is to make the festival. I have a venue. I have artists. I have myself. I have Mauricio. We'll make the festival. Because we think about 3 to 5 years plan. And finally, when we hired local woman who is doing PR, and we did like a press conference yesterday at 10:30 a.m. Everybody came. I mean, 2 television channels, 2 radio stations, 5 major papers. And we are talking about national papers, national television. Of course, local department, like, it's RTV, Radio Televisión Española, but local La Mancha department. And they came, and people say, wow. And they were shocked because they say, oh, and then still people say, are you going to do it? Yes, we are going to do it. And then in the evening, and I brought John Etheridge. I flew John Etheridge, like from London, just to come come here to be presence of he's probably the most known artist with Diego Amador, Spanish artist, the best known artist on this festival, to do PR. And with a local guy, Fernando Giron, who is a fusion guitar player, who lives in Toledo, and with this amazing young flamenco jazz guitar player, Amos Lora, who lives like 2.5 hours from here in Salamanca. And we did put this, and we put amazing presentation, and people say, wow, and now they finally trust us. And I say, look, I already sold 30% of the tickets. And then I told them that people are coming from 15 different countries. Serbia, Bosnia, Sweden, Poland, Israel, Indonesia, Japan, Mexico, Brazil, Uruguay, Canada, different part of Spain, one Japanese guy from Portugal, one American woman from Portugal, Belgium, Netherlands, UK, Germany, Poland. Like people are coming. I sold 40, 50 tickets. And people say, they're coming here because of you yeah, because, they're festival goers. The same way that we go like to see, like me and you, we went to see Peter Gabriel. It's a particular specific show, but if we like certain things, we will travel to see certain things. And this is kind of people that we are trying. Not everybody on this festival will be like that, but most of the people, 50, 60% of people will come from outside of Spain, because they not only want to see me and my festival, they also want to see Toledo, because many of these people came many times to Spain, they never came to Toledo. Many of these people never came to Spain. Some of these people never came to Europe. And which means that I'm not bringing people to see the shows of people, musicians from my booking and from my record label roster. I'm also bringing people to connect with others and to create new friendships. And definitely musicians that didn't know each other. See, like yesterday we had John Ettridge, Amos Lora, and Fernando Giron playing each of them a couple of tunes. Then they played together. And it was magic because they knew about each other a little bit, but they never met in their life. They never played in their life together, and they became instant friends. There was amazing chemistry on the stage. And that's what press and these sponsors that they came to this presentation, they saw. And now they understand what me and Mauricio are trying to do. Because what we are trying to do is very unusual. Because most of cases, like people say, I have a festival. Say, okay, let me see who can book. No, look, I have festival next year. Maybe in a full moon a week of September or full moon week of October. I already have all bands. I don't need bands. I have so many bands that I have many bands on waiting list. I don't need any bands. I will have maybe a couple of guys that are on my label, but they're friends. Because see, this is the festival of my label, my booking roster, and friends of mine that they are not on my label, but they are friends and collaborators with many people from my label. I cannot reveal names. A couple of guys are relatively very well known internationally, but they already did so many albums with members of certain bands that are on my label or my booking roster. And I know them personally. So it's a very difficult kind of festival in terms of philosophy. It's a, I don't want to sound like a tribal guy, and I don't want to say as an arrogant, be an arrogant guy. But if you ask me if I can play on a festival, I said, no, you cannot, unless you are part of my tribe. Because one of the things that I want with this festival, I don't want to close the doors to other people. That's not the point. I just want to put my friends on my label, on my booking roster, to socialize with each other, to present our vision of the life, philosophy of life, and music, to offer them to other people. Some people say, oh, like you are so arrogant, you don't want to book this and that. No, it's not that I don't want to book you. That's not the purpose of this festival. This festival is to promote people on my label. I have to put Vicky Darmavan. I have to put Beledo. I have to put Marcus Reuter. They're my friends. They're on my label. I want to put Diego Amador and Amos Lore and Jaco Bell. They're my friends, and I will be working with them in the future. Those are people that are after them like for many years. They're my friends, and they will be on my label. They will be on my booking roster. See, like this is not a private party. It's just a gathering of friends that are trying to present this kind of idea to the world of being inclusive. People from all around the world performing this kind of uncompromised music, challenging music, eclectic music that is not jazz, it's not prog, it's not world music, it's not fusion, it's not nothing like that. It's just the music. See, we have an Al-Qaeda local artist who performs Sephardic medieval music. Very unusual way. Amazing singer. But we have also Marcus Reuter's band Anchor Rebirth, which is kind of metal, psychedelic, futuristic, kind of very Crimsonian. And we have Soft Machine, kind of sort of jazz, progressive jazz rock. We have Vicky Darmawan, which is a world fusion, ethnic influences from Indonesia, blended with Ved Report and Mahavishnu and these kind of things. It's a music, as we spoke before at the beginning of this conversation. It's all about music. It's not about genre, but everything has something to get. Like the same way that Jimi Hendrix and John Sebastian had something common on the Woodstock Festival, then Anna Al-Qaeda and Ankara Burden, they have definitely something in common, even though it's completely different. If I know what I mean.
I would try to convince Andres Valle so we can go there. I'm thinking about it, man.
Yeah. If you come, it will be great, because it's I see, like, I would like more and more people that I know personally to come to enjoy. Also, we are doing documentary. There are two documentaries. One, it's an ongoing documentary that we started with some other people 3 years ago. It's documentary about me and my philosophy and Moon June and other things. But there is also a main documentary for this purpose. It's documentary about this particular festival. And that's why I would like as many people that I know to come to this party, to be here, to socialize, and some of my best friends are coming from different countries, like, even musicians, like, journalists, like Sid Smith will be there. Derek Schulman, who is one of my really best friends from Gentle Giant, he will be there. And Roy Babington will be there, like, and Sid, I mentioned Sid Smith, like,
Sid Smith, yeah.
Like, very known record executive, he's a friend of mine, and it's a party of different people, but with kind of similar vision of the world of inclusiveness. In Toledo, in Middle Age and a long time ago, it was called La Ciudad de las Tres Culturas, like where Jews, Christians, and Muslims lived in relative harmony, peaceful harmony. During El Califato de Cordova, which is probably one of the most inclusive society in those days, which we don't have today. Like now, Jews and Muslims and Christians set apart of the world, they hate each other, they fight each other. But in those days, things were different. And, and people are fighting for stupidity, for just because, you see, the life is beautiful just because we are different. And everybody wants us to be the same. If you're not the same, you are our enemy. No, you are my friend because you're different. My wife is Chinese from Brazil. She is not very into music like I am. She does like blue cheese. I love blue cheese. She's very different from me, but we live in peace and harmony because we are yin and yang. And we live in a society where everybody wants to be like everybody else. I don't want to be like anybody else. I just want to be in company of people that have similar philosophical approach to life. But it doesn't matter where they are coming from, how old they are, what's their sexual or spiritual orientation, how tall or fat or skinny or big or small they are. It doesn't matter if they have a strong accent or no accent. If they have a terminal disease or they are perfectly healthy. If they are vegans or if they are omnivores. It doesn't matter. We are people. But I don't accept militaristic people. I always say to my vegan friends, if you are vegan, I don't have any issue. Don't be militaristic. I'm atheist. If you are a militant atheist, you're not part of my tribe. I accept all religions. If you are religious, I don't. But if you are militant religious, I have issue. I don't want any militant. I want people to be all together, as different as they can be, to share what we like: culture, arts, food, drink, to sit at the table, to enjoy the music, to go to the bar, to go to the table to have a food. And I when I was talking to my Palestinian Israeli friends, say, see, we are at the table. If all Palestinians Israeli go to table, or if all Serbs and Croats and Bosniaks go to table and start eating and talking and cracking jokes and talking, the world will be better. And that's right. My point. Because once you don't have this kind of inclusiveness, then people start to kind of isolate themselves. This is unfortunately, what is happening in USA. That's what is taking me away from USA more and more, because this kind of segregation, which I experienced that segregation. That's why we have a wars in Bosnia. That's why there is a war. I'm not segregated guy, but now in the USA, everything is segregated. If you're a Republican, I hate you. If you're a Democrat, I hate you. If you're this, I hate. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how world is segregated in entire world, but especially in USA in the last 10 years. I don't want to live in it. I want to live in the world of inclusiveness and music, art, food, gastronomy, and friendship, togetherness. You forget who you are when you are together, listening to music and eating. You don't think who the hell you are. Who cares if you're from Chile? Who cares? It's nice thing that you're from Chile, but I don't care that you're from Chile. If you are my friend, you're my friend. But if you're from Chile, oh, that's extra. If you're from Indonesia, my friend, not because you're Indonesian, because you're my friend. But you're also Indonesian. Oh, that's fine. Oh, what kind of food you like from Indonesia? What kind of food you like from Chile? That's something else. But first of all, I am with you, other people, because who you are, not where you are coming from. And that's my kind of romantic, idealistic vision of not just of my life, but of things that I'm doing.
Mm. Yeah, if I end up, I would try to convince Andres. If we end up going, I will be probably interview with some people and give you the videos and film it for your own benefit.
I have a special guest that will be surprisingly, that will shock people. I cannot announce them because I was
sure.
A person he comes that can come. People will just come to see that person, but I cannot announce who is that guy. But I hope he can confirm.
He's a musician? Yeah.
I cannot say that.
You cannot say, yeah, I got it.
It's a suspense. But actually, I have to say that this year, my very good friend Bill Bruford supposed to come here. Has a commitment on that particular weekend that he cannot cancel. But next year, I have to tell you that Bill Bruford is the first person to be on my festival, not as a musician. He will be coming as a guest, and we'll be having a round table, because this festival is not just about music. It's about round tables. The first day we'll have a round table about the current situation in the post-COVID and post-streaming world. What are the challenges of the current music business and what we can do to improve and all that kind of stuff. Second day we'll have a seminar about flamenco, but flamenco and beyond. Flamenco, not tablao, not for tourists, but flamenco that breaks with tradition, that respects flamenco, but fuses with rock, with blues, with jazz, with improvisation. And the third night, morning, we'll have a round table about music from the world, not world music, music from the world. Because this is the people from 12 countries are performing this, from 4 continents of this festival. And music from the world means like if a musician from Indonesia plays with musician from Spain, a musician from Uruguay, a musician from Germany. That's music from the world, because that's what, the music is a tool of bridging the world, the connecting the world, not to dividing. And we are having this kind of amazing musician from the world that, let's say, like the Indonesian guy, Vicky Dermande, they influence of tradition of their own people. If they bring influence the musical, because they like progressive rock and jazz fusion, and if they mix with other musicians from other countries, let's say the musician from Israel, from Spain, this musician will bring their own influences in music, contemporary music, but also they will bring their DNA, and then you can create new projects if there is a chemistry. And that's how you bridge people together with music, because you have people from different parts of the world trying to make new kind of music. And this is because, as I said before, music is and food, gastronomy, art, culture. It's one of the tools to bring people together to end with this kind of unfortunate things that we are living in this modern world. And then for next year, he probably, because he's a PhD in music theory, and he can talk. He will find out something that he can talk about with other people.
Sure. And then the roundtables are going to be in the morning, and then music in the afternoon.
For approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes, from 11 to 1:15. Then sound checks between 1:30 to 6:15. 6:30 p.m. doors open, and show starts at 9 until 11. We have a curfew at midnight, and in that way, people, festival goers can assist these things in the morning and in the evening, and then when we do other things like sound checks and other things, that the people that are coming, they can visit cathedral, Jewish neighborhoods, like this kind of cultural sites in Toledo, and great restaurants, and that's it.
Yeah, and I noticed the names: Soft Machine, Marcus Aurelius, of course, John Edrich, Smith. Right, I know all this. all those guys. I interviewed two of them actually. So very good people, man. And it was very nice talking to you, Leonardo. I'm quite sure I will send you a separate email because I have some ideas about some a law when advertising. I will get back to you. I will get back to you. I don't want to mention that.
Hit me anytime. I'm hip. I'm hip to socialize and to collaborate. I'm very open-minded. I know that certain people that they run labels on agencies and they're kind of very territorial. They want all things, but I'm kind of guy that I'm open. Nobody's like I'm the only Moonjun guy in the world. There is no.
That's right.
With any label, I'm not competing with any agency. I'm not competing with anybody. I even competing with myself, and I like to share things if I can to help. If I can share things, I'm very open. If it's something that is good for both sides, and if I can afford it, I'm very open. Just hit me with all requests. I'm here.
Yeah, and then let me know if I can help you as well from here as well. Happy to help, Leonardo. We are becoming friends, and I know your work for many years, and I know your record label and the musicians that you've been associated with. So it's about music and friendship. I'm completely agree with you. But Leo,
that's all about. I'm a bon vivant. I'm a romantic bon vivant. I like what I do. I do what I like. And I'm happy. Look, if I do something else, I could make more money. I'm doing okay. I'm not a rich person, but I'm rich inside because I have so
That's right.
And I had a chance in my life to do things that I can make more money. I definitely, several times. It didn't attract me because it's not about all money. I live comfortably, but I only want to do what I like. I'm 61 years old. I don't have time to waste. I don't know how many years I can live. A very good friend of mine here in Toledo, a restaurateur, he died yesterday of heart attack in the morning. And he's supposed to come to my event, and I know him in his restaurant in on July 22nd, 2021. I decided to live in Toledo. It's one of the very first people that I actually talked to, and he was not close friend, but I was going to his place talking. And he said he will come to the event. And then yesterday I was passing by his restaurant and I see Jesus died. What the hell, And then I go on social media, on the internet, and because he was a very popular guy. Then I said to myself, life is unpredictable. I need to do as many things I like until I drop dead. I can drop dead this evening, or I can drop dead when I'm 111 years old. And
that's right.
When it's the time to go, it's time to go. But in meanwhile, I need to only do times, because my grandfather said something. He said, when you are old guy like me, when he was in the late 80s, said, when you see that your end is coming very soon, you will regret a lot of things that you didn't do when you were younger, and things that you didn't take care of yourself. That's what I say to my son. My son is 24, 25. He will be 25 in the end of the year. Say, look, this is what you have to do. Enjoy your life. Do good things. Take care of yourself. Enjoy life, because you never know what's going to happen in life. Of course, once we are dead, we don't know nothing. But while we are doing things, let's enjoy life. Let's not be miserable. I think there are a lot of problems that we have in this world because people feel miserable because they are always negative. I'm not negative person. I like to enjoy life. I like, as I will repeat all the time, I like what I do what I like. I have a lot of friends of mine who make much, much more money than me, much more money. They are very unhappy people, but they have a lot of money. I don't have their money. I have 3, 4, 5, 10 times less money than them, but I'm happier than them. I travel around the world. I do what I like. I always sit out. I'm always with interesting people, and they're working like they're neurotic, take the pills for under depression and this and that. I'm a little bit overweight, but I'm a very healthy person.
I know what I like. I like what I do from Genesis. Hey, Leo, it was very nice talking to you. And I will send you another. A lot of ideas that I would like to run by you. Yeah.
Mucho gusto. Gracias por todo.
Muchas gracias. And I'm quite sure we'll do. This is one of many, so we'll do part 2, part 3, and as I say before, Leo, I'm here to help. Whatever you need, to promote your festival, to interview some.
Big salute to everybody who's watching this, and just go to moonjune.com. You will find for the festival, or you just go straight to moonjunetoledo.com.
Yeah. And then you have plenty of tickets available, and then you have instructions that. Yeah, I saw that you have link for how to get there from Madrid and how many tickets.
Now that I have a little bit more time, I will elaborate all the things, and I will put that
hotels, transportation.
Hotels are a little bit tricky because this is a small place, and look, there are not so many hotels. There is a lot of apartamentos turísticos, which is a sort of Airbnb, and you have to be kind of creative. But I will put some information over there. But it can be done.
People for 3 days they can rent a room, right? It doesn't have to be a hotel, right?
This is the thing, if you are going in the groups, it can be very comfortable because there's a lot of 2-bedroom apartments that it's a cost of 1 hotel room, and you can stay 2 people in 2 separate rooms. Because this in the old town, there are not so many hotels. There are maybe 10 or 11 hotels. They are mostly 21 kind of biggish. Most of the bigger hotels are outside of the old town, still in town, but outside of the old town. But there is a lot of apartamentos turísticos, a lot, and that's what I suggest to people. Like, get with somebody, rent 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. Then you are sharing the apartment with other people. It's also nicer than going to the hotel, and everything is close. Like, everywhere that you go, it's 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes maximum walking. Maximum 15 minutes walking distance whenever you go.
Yeah, and there are plenty of tickets available as of today.
I still didn't promote heavily because, first of all, I want to persuade my friend. Because if I start promoting very heavily, I'm afraid that it will be sold out very quickly. Then I will have people say, "Oh man, I wanted to go, but I cannot get tickets because it's a very small place." I just want to persuade first people that I know.
Your friends, right? Yeah, first.
Because if I do this documentary, I would like to have new people. That also, I will have a lot of people that I know. Some people that I didn't see in ages, like a friend of mine, Maurizio Comandini, one of the best-known Italian journalists, who wrote a book on Jimi Hendrix and Miles Davis in Italian, who interviewed me once and who reviewed my albums. I didn't see him in 11, 12 years. And he's coming. And I want these people to come. I want to see them, to be part of my extended family, to hang out with other people.
We need to bring. What about Armando Gallo as well?
For now I don't have. Look, if he wants to come, he's free to come. But maybe next year we can invent something But for this year, I cannot bring anyone else besides of the roster that I have. But if some people want to come here to hang out, to purchase tickets, it's fine because we're a small festival. But next year, I'm even thinking of Armando Gallo gave me good ideas because I would like to try to reach to Roger Dean, a couple of these guys that and we'll see.
Yeah, Armando and Roger Dean and all this or Phil Manzanero. No, I have interviewed other people.
Phil is good friend of mine. I will.
He's a very good person. Yeah.
Phil is one of my favorite people. I wish that everybody was he's like Phil Manzanera. Phil Manzanera, Tony Levin, Pete Levin.
Tony.
I know a lot of this is another thing. I'm very fortunate that I know amazing musicians, legendary musicians. They're good people. They're my friends.
Sure, absolutely. All right, man. Hey, Leo, I know you need to go, man. It was very nice talking to you, and I will send you a separate email this afternoon. I have some idea of things that we can do together, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Take it easy. Thank you. Appreciate it.